All right, so we're going to talk about alerts and how to set them. Say that you don't have a lot of time to sit and stare at the screen. We're going to say you want to know when this happens. You want the pullback so you can get back into the or you can get into the trade and take it to the high or get a 2 to 1 or whatever, a little swing trade. This is the weekly zone right here, right? So what we want to do is we want to know when price comes down and touches this weekly zone and bounces off it, or even just comes down and touches it. So you would get a ding on this candle here at 10:12, and when this candle turned green at 10:18, that's when I would be in the trade, right? Or I'd be looking for a trend break or just some confluence, maybe turning on the lower time frame zones and seeing um what's going on. So there we go. So we're crossing the first light beacon right here, and then it turns green. So I would probably get into that trade. I would probably risk it, especially if I'm swing trading. So I would do my risk management. I drop that. My stop loss would go to the bottom of the weekly zone, right? And this would be my 1 or 2% loss inside of there. We wouldn't go any more than that. And then we'd go for a 2 to 1, or we're going to the previous high. But chances are, if we're in a swing and it's pushing up, it's probably going to break it. But I would always do the 2 to 1s. And there is your swing trade right there. That's 1,000 ticks. Now, how do you set the alert to make this happen, right? So we're going to go to the one you're on, the zone that you're on, in case you have multiple zones, so you can have different things going on. The one that you're on is this one right here. We're going to go to add alert, and in the condition, we're going to select price, right? And you honestly, you only have to do this once if you want to know every time this thing happens. So you can set it once and forget it. Crossing, we're going to go to value, and this is always in a row with what's on your screen up here. So this right here is in line with what's up here. So we're on the second one that we have installed. So we're going to go to the second one we have installed. Crossing, we're going to go to buy line because the top of this zone is the buy line. The bottom of it is sell line. And then you have your 50% line, which is this one right here. I just have the buy and sell turned off. I don't care to have them on. And we want to know when it closes, or you want to know once per bar or once per minute. Only once means it's going to trigger only once and never trigger again. So you have one bar close, once per bar, once per minute. I would go once per bar or once per minute, because this is going to only trigger if it crosses and the bar closes below it. All right. So I would go once per minute or once per bar. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to put in a message, whatever we want to pop up on our screen, our cell phone, or a text message. And we're going to put in, I don't know, price crossed weekly zone. Okay. And then I always name them the same thing, my messages, unless it's a really long message. Then we can go to notifications. If you want it to come in the app on your phone, you click this. If you want it to email you, click this. If you want it to play a sound on your computer, whatever, play this. And then you can do this to send a text message. You can use it to send a text message to your phone, because all phones have email addresses. But it'll actually show up as a text message. And then we hit create byline. Yep, this is right. And then there you go. Now you'll be notified every time you get a price coming into a weekly zone. It doesn't matter if it's a new zone or not. It's going to trigger. And say you wanted this for your swing trading or whatever, and you still wanted intraday stuff. So here is my zone for New York session, and here's the same kind of trade, but this is going to just be an intraday. It's going to happen today, right? More than likely. And this bounces off right here, right? And I want to know. So what do? I go to this one and I click add alert, and I do the same thing. Price crossing. We're 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 down. And then we're going to go to buy line. Right here is the buy line. And then once per hour, and we're going to set our message and everything else and create that alert. Now, you can get um, notifications when price is crossing the squeeze line too. So that is an option. You turn on your squeeze line, and that is gonna. This is what that will do for you. Right here is when you can do this in like a couple steps. So you get a trigger, and then price breaks out of a squeeze line, like this right here. See that? This break right here, this breaks right here. So that's kind of letting you know that, hey, it's actually moving, and you can use that as an alert as well. And you just do the same steps, um, and you can do it on any of them actually. And you just go to add alert, and then price, and then crossing whatever which one you got the squeeze zone enabled on, and then you just select these right here. And then you can also use the beacon line. These are not going to do anything for you. But the beacon line crosses you can use as well. I wouldn't do that on a lower time frame. A higher time frame, like 5 minutes or something, and I wouldn't leave it on all the time. It's going to annoy you. Just when you're actively looking for the cross, you could turn that on so you could be notified when that happens. So even like the 15 minute, if you're waiting for like a big drop to go back up, here's a cross that's closed over. Here's one right here. So this is starting to give you a warning. Hey, this is starting to reverse. Right. So those you can use those alerts and not have to stare at your screen. Um, and I hope this little tutorial helps you out.